growmybag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good? What's good? What's good? So, seems like Lex Luthor, you are on a roll. Thank you for the information. No, nobody shilled. Nobody shilled. Somebody did some research, made a suggestion. Others did research. It was as simple as that. It was as simple as that. I mean, clearly nobody can be perfect. Mind you, we're not the only ones that missed, right? Those of us who purchased, we're not the only ones that missed. You'd have to say, well, given how high it achieved, you'd be safe to say there were probably at least hundreds of thousands of people that also missed. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. It happens. That's like saying, you should have seen Luna coming. Really? Sometimes you see things and sometimes you don't. That's honestly how it is. That's honestly how it is. So this one, I'm not upset that I missed it. I'm not perfect. I'm imperfect. So it is what it is. But thank you for that information, though. Because it tells me something. It tells me, well, maybe I should have done the research 5 years longer. Or X amount of time longer than I did, right? Seriously. So let's see. Here's Mantra. Mantra's at 79 cents. It's trying to fight back. How long has it been? It got started. Yeah, you see 2020. It bumped up a little bit. It was at 40 cents. And it hovered down and around all that time. So something must have happened in March of 2024, if you're looking at the chart. This does not look incredibly crazy. I mean, I'd like to see more bumpity bumps, a little bit more volatility, but you're seeing it rise. Okay, rise, and then a huge jump, and then play around laterally, and then jump. I mean, that was a lot. That should have been the hint. That should have been the hint. That could have been the hint. Even over the past year, those are big jumps. But then you sit back and kind of go, okay, but why did it jump? Oh, it's doing this. Oh, it's doing this. Okay, that kind of tracks. Hey, Paula. Thank you for letting me know that you did your research. I'm talking about Mantra here. And so I look at this and I kind of go, yeah, all right. Okay. I can be angry. I'm not. I could be, but I'm not. Sorry, it just looked like somebody was outside my window. Odd. But whatever. So, yeah. I mean, it just means that, well, you've got to do more research. You can never research enough. Right? So, yeah. You can see what that looks like. Still, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. One of the reasons why is because with a Dow, you can do a lot of things. You can do a lot of things. Thank you, Captain Banana, for letting me know. Hutanic, what's in the house? And did you invest in yourself today? So yeah. I look at investments and I go, if I don't have that money to lose, then I shouldn't be investing. I know that's harsh, but I'd still rather invest than put it in the bank. The lesson for me is, well, you could have done a bit more research. Fair. I can wag my finger at my face like that. I can do that. All the above and some missing. And yes, I did invest in myself today. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you for letting me know. Tonight's question. Whose data is being sold on the dark web? Binance, Coinbase, Gemini, other. And if it's other, just put down your response down on the links, and we'll get to it later. 4 votes already. Not bad. Not outstanding, but not bad. I wanted to address this earlier, became late, and it is tough catching up and staying on top of the live. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for me. It's tough for me. It really is. It's tough for me. Hutanic, why would you say that? Is that supposed to be a joke or? Oh yeah, no. I meant to say what company has their data, all spread out like that. I'm gonna leave your joke on the side like that. You should get put in the corner for such a joke. So what else is going on? Lex Luthor, really, thank you for that. I mean, I could say it more like, thanks a lot for reminding me that I didn't do enough research. It's only a joke. The reason why I say that is because look at how many projects that were out there that were actually good projects that went sideways. People seem to forget that, a lot of the look at FTX even. Sam Bankman-Fried didn't set out to do wrong. He did something and it worked, and he was like, "Oh, let's do it again." And at a certain point, do you stop and you realize you're doing something illegal? Possibly. No, I don't have prejudice against Ando. Onyx Coin. Onyx Coin, yes. Ando, I don't have anything against Ando. I just don't have a slot for Ando. Don't misread things. Don't misread things. I do things by having slots, right? I don't have a slot for Ando. I've always said I have nothing against Ando. I missed the boat on Ando. What I said is that I went to go do something with Ando, and then my gut told me no. Because I was distracted by something else, and by the time I came back to it, I changed my mind and didn't do it. And I listened to my gut. But I have nothing against Ando. Nothing. Never have. Just no slot. You ever and no blame. You ever, look at a project or look at something and it's really, really good and you just go, yeah, just not for me. Nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine. Right? I do it with cars all the time. I'm like, oh, that's a really nice car. Wow. Do you see these features? Look at the lines. It's really, really, just not for me. Why not for you, Eddie? Well, for any number of reasons. Most of the cars out there don't fit me. That's going to be one. I'm 6'3", I'm like 300 pounds. Most cars don't fit me. So there's a limited number of cars that'll fit me. GMC trucks, the whole family of trucks that they have. Escalade, not so fond of. Mostly trucks. Mostly trucks will fit me. SUVs, those will fit me. Some, right? I used to have the Jaguar, the first the F-Pace. I used to have that. I squeezed in. I mean, it was comfortable for a while, but after a while, I was like, yeah, it's time to go back. It's because I didn't lease that vehicle. I was like, it's time to go. It's time for me to get something else. I feel like a lot of projects that rush to the top 100, top 50 coins might be potential longhand type of rug pulls. Mantra, Pi, Onyx, etc. I don't trust Pi. I don't trust Onyx. Mantra wasn't breathing anything odd to me when I purchased it, so I was like, all right, I'll put a couple of bucks in that. I got a nice little bag, a few $100. I'm not going to stress about it. Take the lesson. That's the silver lining. I take the lesson, right? But my gut didn't tell me there's something wrong. There's something fishy. Onyx, I had seen something was wrong. Something was fishy. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, nah, I'm I'm going to chill with that. It just, Onyx coin. Yeah, I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling Pi. Then a whole lot of news came out about Pi. I wasn't hearing a lot of news about Mantra. I was not hearing a lot of news about Mantra. And I mean news like too much positive news. Oh, Mantra this, Mantra that. It was just kind of like, it seemed like regular stuff. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it happens. It happens. OFAC. I forgot what OFAC stands for. Office of. Give me a second, because it'll bother me if I don't know what it is. Yeah, there it is. The Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control. Although they removed Tornado Cash from off their list, they're saying that it was more of a discretionary kind of move. But they're still looking at those developers and others. They still cast a gaze. I'm bleeding hard on Sui. I hope it comes back. I think Sui comes back. I'm not worried about Sui. I'm not worried about Sui at all. But they're still keeping an eye on all of those people. And I'm like, as if they were bank robbers that stopped robbing banks, but you're still watching them. You ever see To Catch a Thief? And I'm just like, yeah, that's... I always think about, are you doing something because you want to try to come back? You want to try to come back at them. And this is one of those cases where they're like, yeah, we might go back after these guys and others. Thank you for letting me know that you're invested in yourself, and your answer is shock and awe. I think Sui is very different. Sui is very, very different than other coins. I'll have to get into it another time. I had some stuff about Sui. But that's okay. What else is going on? OpenSea launches a Solana token trading in beta, right? And it's a very big deal because they're trying to do the whole cross-chain thing. They're trying to do the cross-chain interoperability thing. So OpenSea is trying to do a lot, and they are planning on releasing their C token, SEA. So we'll see how that, we'll see how that all plays out. Like, what's the purpose of your token? Right? Like, I want to know, well, what are you doing? You're an exchange. You're an NFT market. Not even exchange. You're a marketplace. You need a coin. Why? Right? You need a coin. Why? Why do you need a coin? So I'm just wondering, like, how does that work out in your head? So I just want to see what their game plan is. I don't know what their full game plan is. I know what they released, but I don't know what their full game plan is, what their full vision is. So I just want to watch that play out. And no, I have no plans on buying a C token. If they give it to me, you want to give it to me, sure, I'll take it. But I have no plans on buying it. Speaking about Mantra, the Mantra CEO plans to burn like 772,000 OM tokens. It's less than 1% of the supply. What are you talking about, dude? Excuse my language. They messed up. They messed up. That's all you can say. They messed up. I need to see. So what you're pointing at is what happened in the past. I want to know what happened now. That's when I'm really going to learn something. Like what happened now. Anyway, it's enough about Mantra. Athena Labs shuts down in the EU. They didn't get MiCA approval for USDE. And because of that, ENA, their ENA token, also took a nosedive. So I'm like, ooh, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. Marco Centauri joins, big time OG, joins Wallet Connect to promote self-custody. That right there to me is a big deal. Those are the only two coins you have, Lex Luthor? You don't have anything else? Okay, main bag. Gotcha. I'm not hating on you for those. I'm not hating on you for those choices. Especially not Link. I love me some Link. Just saying, love me some Link for various reasons. Link is going to has already forced traditional finance to rethink things, but it's not just traditional finance. Link is a different beast. It's a different beast. And the reason why I say so is because Link can do a lot in the financial services industry, for sure. But Link can do a lot across a lot of industries because it's an oracle. That's what I'm paying attention to. I'm looking to see how they disrupt other things. Let's see. There was an AWS outage. That AWS outage disrupted a lot of companies. We'll come back to that. ZK Sync admin wallet was hacked. They snatched about 111 million ZK tokens, they minted them, and it was about $5 million. Yeah, that wasn't nice. The price dropped 8.6%. The attacker converted that into $3.5 million worth of ETH. So that's going to be interesting. Because why not? Again, one of the biggest things that we have in this industry, well, I'm not going to say in this industry, across any financial aspects, is going to be security. I don't think people pay enough attention to their sovereignty, and they're free flowing with their information. They don't take the time to look at their security posture. They don't care. Well, let me rephrase. They don't care enough and then cry when it happens. Cry when it happens. It's sort of like when you buy a bag of something and you bought that bag and then you get rug pulled or disaster hits. Right? I could cry about it. Why? I made a mistake. Done. I was talking to one of my guys. It was in the middle of a meeting, and I opened up the mail, and I got a ticket. I got two tickets. One was for 85 cents, and the other one was for $4.35. But I have, the whole tag thing going on. And apparently, when I set it up, I put in the wrong license plate number. I duplicated a digit. And the administrative fee, 85 cents, look, for 85 cents and $4.35, the administrative fee for each is $50. 50. 85 cents. When I talk about a racket, this is what I mean. That's a racket. The Easy Pass system is a racket. It is an absolute racket. Now, of course, I'll call a dispute and I'll be like, oh, there must have been a problem because this is my license. This was the license plate number. And really, it's now under my old plates and everything's fine. But I have an account. How about you just let that go away? Because it didn't cost you anything to run this ticket, considered everything about it is automated. Then they have the audacity to send me images that are fuzzy. You were able to get my plate number. How are you sending me fuzzy information? Interesting. This is why I try to do my own research on everything. Sometimes I miss, sometimes I get it. It's a big deal. What else do we have going on? And I say it because for what reason do you have to set a price for $50 for administration? There are lots of those deals out there, lots of those little faux pas out there all over the place. But when it comes to your user sovereignty, you've got to pay more attention. When you get a user agreement, go inside and look at that user agreement. Michael McCaskill told me about the Coinbase user agreement changing. And so I went and I looked at it. Wow. I posted up an article about it. It's on the site. So they're guarding against class action lawsuits is what they're doing. They're going to treat everything as batches. So if this grievance is similar to these grievances, they will take that block and treat it as a batch. But even everybody inside that batch gets their own deal or their own judgment. It's verbiage to stop class action lawsuits directly. And Coinbase isn't the only company that does it. So if there was a data breach, if there was anything that would affect that large swath of people, they have some kind of protection. Will it hold? Don't know. Right? Because they're going to say, well, your situation is different than this situation is different than that situation. I would think that if there was a major problem and it affected, thousands and thousands of people, it's going to be hard to fight that class action. It's going to be hard for them to say, no, we can't do a class action. Because remember, a couple of people had brought class actions against Coinbase. So a lot of the companies have adopted terms that protect them or shield them from class actions. So yeah, your data sovereignty is a big deal. Start reading things. Don't just click because you want to go do something. Click it and keep going. Right? You want to pay attention to that. This is an Alexa device that I used to have plugged in. It's now no longer plugged in. You want to know why? Because now they literally changed their user agreement to say, oh yeah, no, we're going to record and save everything that you say. That's not what it used to be. That's not what it used to be, but we're going to record everything and everything that you say, and we're just going to keep it. We're going to use it for however we want to use it. Security is a big deal. The use of your data is a big deal. You ever look at television and you see those commercials out there, and yes, and all of this has something to do with your money. You ever look at those commercials and you see a whole bunch of TikTokers out there, or Instagram Reels or whoever, and they've got their videos up? Those people are not being paid. And you're sitting there going, what? Yeah, they're not being paid. Unless they cut that deal, they're not being paid. If you see a group, I forgot what show it was, but they were showing a group. Oh, it was a Barry Manilow concert. And it had all these TikTokers because they were dancing to his music. That's really cool. Okay. Those people get some fame. They probably don't even know that they got some fame. And they don't get paid for that. When you post up your stuff to some of these platforms, most of them, yeah, it's theirs. They have the right to use it. Now, if you're okay with that, that's cool. If you know about that, that's cool. But Amazon changed something to fit their needs. Oh, they weren't collecting enough data, as if they don't know what the hell I used to order all the time, right? Now they're going to record my voice. No, that's where I stop. That's where I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm good off that. The story against TikTok is that, they're stealing your data. They're not stealing your data. They give it to you right there in black and white. This is what we're doing. And you give us permission to do it. You sign up and la, 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 and you keep going. The same thing with the centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges, banks, mortgages, anything you sign your name to. Got a new car? Read it. Sit there and read it for a couple of hours. See what's right, what's not right. Are you going to be able to change anything in that contract? Probably not. And then you have to make a decision. Even banks do it. A bank is not just a bank. A bank has a whole bunch of different companies that report up to, this entity. And they say, we will share data with each one of those entities in order to fulfill your needs. Getting a mortgage. Why are you giving my information to a motorcycle insurance company, for example? All of these things go back to you managing your data, managing your assets, managing who has access and can use what you allow them to use. People ask me why I pay for email, why I don't use any one of the free services. You're joking, right? You have zero rights. Zero. You use one of those services, you've got zero rights. And then you're gonna sit there and wonder, when I look online at my email, why is that ad showing up? I was just talking about that a couple of days ago, and now this ad shows up a lot. It's not by mistake. It's not by happenstance. It's by design. It's by design. So when you're doing all your research, do your research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. It's who's got access to your data. I used to turn around and tell you like how many people would get, their X account hacked. More people got their X account hacked than whoever got their Twitter account hacked. But one of the first things that X did was they turned off two-factor authentication unless you're paying. When you go over to Facebook, they try to sell you on getting your little blue check mark, paying for your little blue check mark. And if you do that, we'll tack on some security and stuff so that nobody can steal your account. Huh. Yeah. So imagine when you have all these data breaches, AI couldn't exist at a more fruitful time. Couldn't. And people ask me, why do you say that? Because it's so much easier for me to steal your identity now. They had a breach. 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 And then they all say, change your passwords and do this and do that and blah, blah, blah. They already have all the information they need to paint a pretty little picture that looks almost exactly like you. They got the mole wrong. Instead of being on this side, it's on that side. But little things. You know what I mean? It's that deep. I'm not worried about one data breach. I'm worried about the string of breaches. That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about. That's how they put together the pretty little picture. And then what happens? They're able to send you phishing emails, send your friends phishing emails that are so detailed and seem so real. I got one today from Coinbase, or at least it looked like it was Coinbase. It's not. You can use pen and paper and move to a monastery. No, you need to pay attention to what's out there. It's not something I'm gonna joke about. I know a lot. I know people firsthand that have been through that. I got an email today from Coinbase. Coinbase. You requested your password to be changed. Click here to go change your password. Every link in that email seemed like it was real. So somebody went old school, went to Coinbase and said, I have a whole bunch of email addresses. I'm just going to try them. And, oh, okay. And I'm going to request a password reset. One of these idiots, because I hacked your email, it seems. And if your email got hacked and you request a password reset, it goes to your email. Have two-factor authentication turned on at the very least. They still have to have that code. Still have to have that code. You can still save your account, change your password, but go to the site and change your password. Don't click any links. Don't click any links. You can go to the site, change your password, keep it moving. Keep it moving from right there. Right? And the reason why I say so and why I'm so adamant about it is because today, today's question was, whose data is being sold on the dark web? Binance, Coinbase, Gemini, other. 7 votes. We're going to end this one early because it's a big topic. Yeah, all the above and then some, just like what Rick Ritchie said. It was all them and then some. You want to know how it happened? Yeah, those companies weren't hacked. Some malicious software got onto somebody's browser, got onto a bunch of people's browsers, and they happened to have the wallets installed. That's how they got the data. That's how they got the data. And I'm talking about full names, phone numbers, full addresses. Like, they went deep. They went deep on, what they got, who they got, physical addresses with records, more information, records, email addresses, phone numbers, physical addresses, Binance US, Crypto.com, Coinbase, Robinhood, Kraken, Gemini, CoinMarketCap, and others. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazeballs. It's amazeballs. I don't know if it was MS Windows specific. These days, I don't require specificity on your operating system. You can do this on almost any operating system. It's not hard. Not anymore. Not anymore. A lot of these operating systems favor apps running on the operating system versus applications, full blown fatty operations there and applications. That's why. Ham's house, what's going on? Yeah, if I want to get to Ubuntu, I can do something to that too. If power runs through it and there's an operating system, you can be hacked. Period. Don't you remember when they were hacking for freaking refrigerators? Ham's house, did you invest in yourself today? Lex Luthor didn't answer the question directly, but with all his research earlier, clearly he did. So I won't beat him up this time. It's impossible to avoid data breach and leakage. Yeah. But is it? Those companies can't. But this is why you want to deal with companies that have some girth, have some depth. Because one of their top jobs is going to be security. So there's that. Hutanik, if you're going to be rude, go be rude. Go wash your socks. I could care less. Because somebody out here is not going to realize all these things exist, and they're going to find that helpful. So there's that. You invested in yourself, still investing. That's what I want to hear. That's what's up. That's what's up. USDI. USDI is going to be pegged to the United States CPI, Consumer Price Index, and inflation numbers. I don't know how that stablecoin is going to work. First CPI linked stablecoin the revisions will start from December 2024. It's launched already, but that's how they're going to do it. I don't understand that. I mean, unless how they're doing it is they're making their calculations on reserves based on those numbers. The math on that must be insane. Yeah, everybody's data is being sold at some point in time. You want to know why? Because nobody bothered to read the user agreements. That's why. And at a point, everybody just said, well, skip it. My data is out there anyway. Oh, well. Not taking any steps to actually clean it up. Tighten things up. Change your passwords. Change the email address. Don't reuse passwords. Don't save your passwords in your browser. Get a separate password locker for it. Stuff like that you can do. And what's amazing is, what I find to be amazing is that it's all the regular people that are just like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's already out there. I don't care. All the wealthy people, they spend a lot of time, a lot of money on security. Physical and digital. So yeah, I take it very seriously. Because not for nothing, part of my business, part of our services are security audits. There's a major job board, and we did a security audit for them, and they didn't do so well. I'll say that. They didn't do so well. A friend of mine used to be CFO, VP of security, the CIO used to work for him. He used to be a VP/CIO of IT. And he was like, listen, you should talk to this company and let them do something. Let them check in this stuff. They also didn't have a good business continuity plan in place. That whole thing downtown Manhattan where everything was flooded. Yeah. Big storm came through. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. It's a bigger deal than most people think. And, we don't look at it as serious because it's already out there. Yes, old information is already out there. That doesn't mean that you can't clean things up from today going forward. And I'm telling you now because we're looking at data breaches all the time. And one day it's going to be a data breach where you've got your money and you're not going to want to hear, well, you had the opportunity to clean that up and you didn't. You had the opportunity to change your password and you didn't. You had the opportunity to get a VPN and you didn't. You had the opportunity to make sure your computer was up to date and you didn't. You had an opportunity to make sure you didn't just run around clicking links all willy-nilly and you didn't. Sound familiar? My uncle told me it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And this is one of those things that when you're doing your own research, these are things you have to pay attention to. It tells people he has to watch this. On another subject, it would have worked. But I've literally seen people just lose everything with zero recourse. Zero recourse. Bank scams, crypto scams. People need to start getting educated on this stuff. The more and more and more that you get involved in crypto and the traditional finance moves in this direction, the more and more and more we should all be far more security conscious. Far more security conscious. I had a conversation with somebody the other day and he was like, yeah, I built this app, and that got me a job at this startup and, because I built this app. And I was like, but excuse me, didn't you tell me that you just used, AI to help you build that app? What do they call it? Vibe coding. He was like, yeah, and it's really cool and blah, 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 and they want me to help them scale what they're doing. I was like, they want you to help them scale their. I can't wait to find out where he's going to work. I can't wait. Smart kid, really, really smart. Was happy that he was able to vibe code an application. I just sat there and I was like, that application will not scale. That application has zero security concerns. I have a team of developers that work for me. Greater than 50% of their job when they're writing code is security. It's security. And like I told you before, if it's got electricity and it's got any kind of a brain, it can be hacked. I mean, heck, I knew guys that were hacking freaking telephones in the phone booths when I was a kid. They would stand there and be like, oh, you got to use the phone? Give me the quarter. Here you go. For real. And then they do their little thing and think. And they would stand there and make money all day long. Then the game changed. All the phones are gone. Nobody has phones like that anymore. So yeah, security is a big deal. So when you're doing your own research and you're getting to know your entries and exits and you're investing deliberately, all of that should contain security. What is your security posture? How much of your information is exposed? Yeah. It's kind of funny. People are not so... Ooh, let me read this first. People are not so smart as it seems. They have passwords in their notes, use default SSIDs and passwords. Yup. Click on anything too. It's a huge problem. Yeah, that's why I don't click anything. That's why I tell you guys, don't click things unless you absolutely trust the source. And even then, you have to think about, well, where did they get this link? What is it? What's it about? Okay, I'll go do a search on that. I don't know that I want to click this link. One of the biggest things that you can get caught out there with is within the text of that link that they sent you, one of the letters looks like an English letter, but it's a different language letter that does not mean what you think it is. And you wind up going to a completely different website. Looks great. I told you I got a ticket, right? I told you I got a couple of tickets. So I went to go log into my account. Yo, I froze because it looked completely different. 2 days ago, it looked like this. Today, completely different. No emails. Hey, we're upgrading our website. None of that. And I was like, whoa, nah. I actually had to call them up and be like, yo, what is this? Oh, yeah, no, we upgraded our website. That's the real website. Okay. Yeah. Because I wanted to pay my tickets. I don't want to walk around with these tickets. I want to go dispute my tickets and, have it taken care of. I have no problem paying for whatever it is I need to pay for, but I don't want to put my information in, right? And they snatch my money. Even worse, if you're using a credit card or debit card or whatever, they've got your information. They can use it a lot. And you should also be looking at your bills. My son, somebody he happens to look at his credit card statements all the time and his debit statements all the time. He was like, $20. What the hell is this? He was like, I didn't do that. And at the time that this happened, I was at the gym. And he was like, yeah, that's not me. He had to dispute it. Got his $20 back, but he had to dispute it. I mean, it was a $20 hit, so you could tell that some kid did something because $20. And it could also be a test run to see if they could do more, if you notice it. So if you don't notice it, they'll hit you harder the next time. Yeah. It's rare they have good security posture. Yeah, they mostly don't have a good security posture. The government mostly don't. He's right. It's rare. It's rare. As a test, I want you to do something funny. Hear me out. Down to security. I just want you to drive around your neighborhood, just looking for Wi-Fi and see if you can hop on. Take your phone or take somebody else's phone you don't know and see if you can stand in front of your house and hop on your Wi-Fi. Car thieves right now, you know what they're doing? They have this antenna set up that will block your Wi-Fi. So it blocks your security cameras. That's why mine are wired. Yeah. It's cute, right? So they block your Wi-Fi while they're stealing your car. Then they've got this other wire set up where they walk around your house and they get your key fob, because your key fob is always sending signals, and boop, boop, now they got your car. Security is a bigger deal than you think, and it affects your bags directly. I know I've droned on about it, but it's not a little thing. I bring you stories all the time about this breach, that breach, they got hacked, this amount of money was taken. All of that should be telling you I should be way more careful with my own information. I should be way more careful with who I'm working with. what was it, year and a half ago, a whole slew of bridges got hacked. It seemed like it was a bridge getting hacked every other week. And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm not mucking around with bridges. Because it seems easy to hack them. So I still haven't touched bridges. Just won't. Because I haven't seen anybody that's got like security. I'm just like, yeah, nah, I'm good off that. So yeah, it's dangerous out there. And I need you people to, be wide-eyed and bushy-tailed when you're doing this stuff. Worst thing out now is like a $30 gadget that can literally clone your phone. Yep. Remember that used to be high tech? What was that movie? National Treasure with Nicolas Cage. They cloned somebody's phone. They're like, oh, that was some like big deal CIA operative level stuff. Now you could just walk into electronic stores and just go buy it. like it ain't no thing. Just saying, pay attention to these things. Eight Paws has herself on lockdown. However, that's not going to help you if you're using Wi-Fi necessarily. They could be over there, just chilling out, looking like they're reading a book, hacking your stuff. There are a lot of things that they can do. To clone your phone. Though you can clone phones, you can clone it with the SIM. Now everybody's switched over to eSIM because supposedly it's more secure. It's sort of like the chip that's in your credit card that at first couldn't be cloned and now it can be. I'm telling you, the reason why it sticks in my head so much is because me and my crew, we do a lot of work in security, a lot of work in application development, Web3, all that kind of stuff, AI. You put all that together and you've got the recipe for the perfect storm on how we can steal whatever it is that you're doing. AI artificial intelligence is not really artificial intelligence right now. It's somewhat less than artificial intelligence. Okay. But they just like putting the word on it, the phrase on it. Not a problem, but still it's good enough for me. If I have enough information about you to paint a really good picture of you and then use it, not even necessarily against you, but against others, making them think it's you. There's software out there that can clone your voice. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. Why do credit cards still have all three? Swipe, tap, and chip. Tap is the chip. The purpose was to make it more secure. Yeah. The rules changed. So when a store used to get burned by a credit card, the person whose credit card it was, they had to take the brunt of it. Now it's the store takes it. The store takes the hit. Why do you think I want to walk around just walking into stores talking about you should do crypto? I'll set you up. You'll be able to do crypto. I won't charge you until you get something, and it'll be a flat fee instead of a percentage, just to make it easy on people, right? And the reason why is because I've got to pay. I mean, think about this. We're paying credit card fees. Even if you're using a debit card, you're paying fees to hit those networks, right? So you're paying fees, and what do you get? You don't get security. Yay! Hutanic, you hit it. That's the one. They still put the stripe on there in case you have to swipe it. You shouldn't have to. Sometimes tap doesn't work because it's supposed to be able to tap the chip, and that doesn't work. Now you got to put it in, or you got to swipe it. So the store pays, right? Which means you pay, right? Stores, build that into their pricing model, but The store pays and they don't get security. Huh? The store pays and they don't get security, but isn't that the whole point of your network? It's not. It's not. The whole point of the network is just to transfer value. That's it. Not transfer value securely. Crypto does that. Right? And then you get all your money. And there are cryptos out there right now, Cardano, Hedera, others, that really can handle in-person charges. Like, boop, boop, like a few seconds and okay, it's done. And I mean done. No waiting 30 days, disputes and all that. No. They got your money and you got whatever product or service that you wanted to pay for. Done. Yeah. Kind of a big deal. Credit card companies upgrade the security on cards after there's a big breach. Do they though? What do they secure? They secure themselves. They don't secure you. Unless you're in the wealth management side of the house, they don't care about you. Oh, you're just on the bank side? Yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it, if we get to it. You're on the wealth management side? Oh. You get white glove treatment there. All kinds of investigations will happen. You see the difference? And I'm serious. I'm like dead serious. Call your bank and talk to them about you had a problem, with a credit card or a check or whatever. They don't care. Regular bank account, they don't care. They look to see if you have one of these other kind of accounts that qualify you for the white glove treatment. And if you don't, they don't care. It's like, who are you? You have a bank account here? Oh, didn't know. Okay, what's your problem? Can you hold the phone for a second? I got to eat my lunch. Sounds funny, but I'm serious. I'm dead serious. When you do your research, you're not just researching the lifetime and longevity of a coin. Scroll up if you can and look at the information that Lex Luthor gave us. It's a whole bunch of information about how MakerDAO was created. Right? How Mantra was created. MantraDAO, sorry, not MakerDAO. MantraDAO was created. And there were problems at the beginning. But those were problems at the beginning. Were there problems thereafter? It's been a long time. So, but you kind of got to know who's involved with it. I always tell you guys who's involved with the project, how long they've been involved with the project, have they been involved with other projects, what's going on at those other projects, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. Yeah. I think it teaches people how important it is to have a hardware wallet, not your keys, not your coins. Yeah. But you also have to trust yourself that your hardware wallet is going to work, that you're not going to lose your hardware wallet. Aha. You lose that, you could be screwed. In other words, you must be mindful. Simple as that. Let's see. Mess up the trading and they pause their withdrawals for a while. Oh, you want to know what happened? AWS went down. Amazon Web Services went down today. Partially. But what that points to is that there is a problem with across the industry in that there's a centralized problem. A lot of these companies are centrally located, and the commonality or the common point is AWS. Aha. Yeah, it's got it. There's an issue. No, that's exactly. I'm not even worried about hosted services having too much of a market share in hosted services. I'm worried about, I have a crypto business and I'm only on AWS. I don't have an architecture that is a decentralized architecture. You can do it. Trust me. You can do it. It's not hard these days. Not hard at all. You can have a distributed architecture that will help you guard against these kinds of problems. But this AWS problem that went down, it's making a lot of companies go, oh, damn. Not even thinking about it. Oh, we've got failover. We've got this and we've got this. You know, AWS gives us everything and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, until you realize that AWS could have a centralized problem, which makes it everybody's problem. Ta-da. Ta-da. Tada. Yeah, it's not cute. That's what happened today. It was resolved, but it demonstrated that there's a problem. It demonstrated there's a massive problem. I think there are a lot of people that are thinking we should probably look into that. We should probably think about that. Let's, think about your nodes. Where are they running? Where are they running? Azure's huge. Azure's distributed. I know, we build an application. Most of it's on Azure. But it's ridiculously distributed, including servers that we host ourselves. It's not easy. I'm not saying that, these companies have an easy task. It's not easy. But some of these companies are making money hand over fist, and, they'd be able to, they can afford to make some changes. They can afford to make some changes. But now you know why there was a problem across, crypto today. That's why. But I'm going to have to go because I have to get up early tomorrow because I'm going down to the city again. But I wanted to share something with you. Look at that. So for comparison, that's first book, second book. That's stepped up the game a little bit. But I had to get my own copy. I'm still waiting for the hardcover copy. The GMB 3, The Art of Research, Timing, and Deliberate Wealth. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's pretty nice. This one is a little bit lighter. So yeah, a lot of work went into those. Thank you very much. But yeah, I mean, I know I harp about certain things sometimes. This is important. Look at the security breach that went on. Hum's house, thank you. See that? The GMB 3, Hum's house. You can get them before the tariffs. You know what? I can't even put you in the corner on that one. I can't put you in a corner on that one. I mean, it's Amazon, so, the cost is the cost. It is what it is. But they do a lot of their printing here, so I'm not worried about it. But still, right now, we've got to take a little bit more time, look at our security. The same way that we're looking into all these coins, security is one of the things that you need to be paying attention to. Right? You don't want to be involved with a company that hires 19-year-olds that were fired from other jobs for security breaches. I forgot who did that. No, just joking. We know who did that. Muskrat. He did it. I wish I accepted eggs. I don't have an egg problem. Yeah, only Lucy eggs. Okay, 8 paws goes in the corner. They're not called singles, man. You go in the corner just for not knowing that they're Lucy eggs. And they're not Lucy like Lucille Ball. They're Lucy as in loose, E. Like Lucy cigarettes. Loosey, Lucy, eggs. Anyway, that's just me. That's just me. But when I bring you the news, the whole idea is that tokenized eggs. Lex Luthor's in the corner. You just enjoy the corner. That's what that is. You enjoy the solitude. But I bring you guys the news, and I bring you my opinion on the news. Then it's up to you to go do your own research. It really is. I don't give financial advice. You're slow sometimes. You're funny. I don't give financial advice, right? I tell you what I would do in certain situations. I tell you what I've done. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'll create fictitious situations, and I'll tell you what I would do in that kind of a situation. But I don't give financial advice. The only advice I give is to practice the GMB3. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Don't believe me? Get the book. Get both of them. They're both really, really helpful. They're both really, really helpful. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. If you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, smash the likes, tell your friends about us, and let's grow this community. We have been growing. We're going to grow more. We're going to grow a lot more this year. I guarantee it. We're going to grow a lot more this year. And we're going to have fun doing it together. Thank you for being part of this community. I greatly appreciate all of you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And absolutely, as always, thank you for your trust. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to invest in yourselves. Everybody, have a great night. Bye-bye.